All right, guys, here we are. It's Wednesday, getting ready for week 6 of the NFL Fantasy Football Season 2020. Welcome to the Fantasy Football Astrology channel. I'm going to be going over some of my top waiver picks. We'll see how big this list gets. I've got some interesting things towards the back end of the video. For the front end of this video, I'm going to talk about a lot of the players you probably already know. These are just names we need to know this week, and these are names that pretty much everybody knows. I'm going to do my best to maybe give you a little information you didn't know about these guys. Astrology is really helpful in doing that because most people are not looking at the astrology. Almost nobody is looking at the astrology, and I've studied the history on astrology for players, and I do find that it is quite relevant to help us predict how things are going to unfold before we really know. So with that in mind, we got to get into our first pick here. We have to talk about Alexander Madison as number 1 overall. Now, he is the type of player that if you're 5-0, 4-1, don't even worry about it, right? You're going to get Alexander Madison for, if you're really lucky, 2 weeks. You might not even get him this week if Cook comes back. So he is being projected 16.1 points. He's playing Atlanta this week. That's a pretty nice matchup. And we know Minnesota's they're going to run the ball. That's kind of their go-to. So Alexander Madison, really, it's obvious, guys. We don't have to go into astrology there. We know he's going to get the usage. We know he can be very efficient running the ball. That's the number 1 pick. Number 2 pick is Chase Claypool. I've talked a little bit about Chase Claypool in the past. I've been high on Chase Claypool for a long time. His astrology with Ben Roethlisberger is absolutely perfect. It's the same astrology he had with Antonio Brown. Chase Claypool, after that performance, we can probably expect him. It's a healthy expectation to think that he's going to be getting more usage in this offense, even if Deontay Johnson comes back. So there's a bit of a gamble there, but still, the gamble, if he does get more usage, looks like it's going to pay off in big ways. So pretty clear cut. Everyone knows they want to get their hands on Chase Claypool this week. And so we're moving on to the 3rd pick, Travis Fulgum. I talked about Travis Fulgum in one of my last videos. He's got basically perfect astrology. The transition isn't perfect, but he shares the earth element with Carson Wentz. And so they're speaking the same language on the field. Travis Fulgum, I knew him from Detroit. He's got a really inspiring story. And he's a good kind of like high point kind of player. So he'll be a good red zone target, and hopefully we can expect Travis Fulgham to kind of supplant himself in that offense with the rest of that receiving core. Jalen Reagor's out on injury, Jeffrey's out on injury. We don't know when they're coming back, but maybe Travis keeps the job for the whole year. Who knows? But we can probably be pretty safe on betting for him this week. He's got Baltimore this week, so he's probably going to be sitting on the bench anyway. But still, Travis Fulgham, player that we need to know, probably a player that we may want to target. Okay, Mikkel Hardman is another player here. This is the 4th player I'm talking about. And the interesting thing about Mikkel Hardman is he is a Pisces. Okay, so he is a polar opposite with Patrick Mahomes. He actually has really good astrology with Patrick Mahomes. So with Sammy Watkins being out, Mikkel Hardman, we can probably put a pretty strong bet that Mikkel Hardman's going to have some good weeks. Okay, so positive, encouraging signs for Mikkel. Next pick is Preston Williams. He's been kind of disappointment this year, but last week he broke out, right? I believe he had over 100 yards. Let's see, 4 catches, 106 yards for a touchdown. And here's the thing. He is an Aries, and Fitzpatrick is a Sagittarius. That is an A+ astrological grade. Now, Fitzpatrick also has Devontae Parker as a Capricorn, which is about a B+ grade. So Fitzpatrick has good astrology all over the place there, but man, with an Aries out there, that's really going to be calling to Fitzpatrick the strongest out of all those matches. And so Preston Williams, only 38% owned in ESPN leagues. So another really good ad, okay? Another guy that's available in my league, maybe he's available in yours, he's 40% owned, Mike Williams. Okay, he's not going to be on the top of the projection list this week because he's on a bye. So you might have to dig for him a little bit. But we saw him have a big game. What was it, last 2 nights ago? And so there it is. His astrology is pretty good with Herbert, being that Herbert's a mutable Pisces water sign. Mike Williams is a Libra cardinal air sign, so the transition is perfect. Water and air, they definitely are kind of closely related in a lot of ways. So pretty good astrology there. Probably has better astrology with Keenan Allen. And so Keenan Allen's a Taurus. I don't know how long Keenan Allen's back injury is going to last, but Mike Williams is a definitely worthy ad this week. So, those out of the way, I have some I want to get everyone's attention on when we're speaking about the Chargers. We're going to segue into this because I really think this wide receiver would be excellent on this team. And I'm speaking about Antonio Brown. Okay, if you've watched my videos in the past, I talk a little bit about strategy. And one thing that served me really well over the years is staying ahead of the game. Okay, we know Antonio Brown, he's on an 8-game suspension, and that suspension might actually be extended. But he would definitely be worth an ad this week because people usually operate, I find, a week ahead pretty consistently, but I rarely see anybody operating 2 weeks ahead. So if your roster can afford to kind of sit an elite player like Antonio Brown for 2 weeks, hopefully he gets that 8-game suspension, and that's the end of it. And man, I would love to see Antonio Brown on the Chargers because Herbert's a Pisces and Antonio Brown is a Cancer. That would be absolutely perfect, and I think he would be probably already slotted right into getting a ton of usage on that offense with some pretty good quarterback play. And so that's what I'd like to see. I'm gonna put in for Antonio Brown this week. I think I'll be ahead of my league mates there, and we'll see how it goes. Some other players to consider coming off of suspensions and injuries. We want to be looking at Sterling Shepard. Okay, Sterling Shepard. He is probably going to be coming off the IR pretty soon, and he actually does have really good astrology with Daniel Jones. As an Aquarius, Shepard is an Aquarius. Daniel Jones is a Gemini. They're both air signs. The transition isn't exactly perfect. So if you look at Daniel Jones's astrology with Darius Slayton is an earth sign. He's a Capricorn. So that's not really that great. Although he is a cardinal sign and Daniel Jones is immutable, that transition is really good. But ideally, earth and air aren't the best matches. So I expect Darius Slayton to continue having up and down weeks all the time. Looking at Golden Tate as a Leo, that's a pretty decent match with the Gemini and Daniel Jones. But the best match, astrologically speaking, is Sterling Shepard. He's on my waiver wire. And so still on IR, and we can pick them up this week. Other guys on IR, I'm looking at Lazard. Good astrology with Aaron Rodgers. And Paris Campbell. I don't know how long Paris Campbell's going to be out. It's probably a little premature. I just want to talk about some of these names just to keep them fresh in your memory. I know a lot of people probably don't dig as far as the IR. If you found this channel, you're probably digging pretty good, because not many people have found this channel yet. So got a lot of respect for my audience looking out and being able to find this channel. You all seem to be quite informed already, so I appreciate you guys helping me out, talking about what you think is interesting, keeping active in the comment section, and we'll keep having dialogue there and discovering more all the time. One other player that I think is interesting, we got to look at Nelson Aguilera. I've talked about him in the past. He's on a bye this week. He's got pretty dang good astrology with Derek Carr, and they continue to use this guy. So that is what it is. I had somebody asking about Henry Ruggs. Henry Ruggs actually has, I think, better astrology than Nelson Aguilar, being that Henry Ruggs is an Aquarius, okay, and Derek Carr's an Aries. And so that's a cardinal going to fixed. And so the transition to Henry Ruggs is perfect. And they're both on the same side of the zodiac, being fire and air. And so I'm in on those guys. And also Antonio Callaway. If anyone remembers Antonio Callaway, he's on the Dolphins practice squad. He's waiting to get his suspension lifted. And so just a really talented guy. Not sure what we can expect, but like I said, we want to operate 2 weeks out. Antonio Callaway as a Capricorn would be the same combination as Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, as Fitzpatrick is with Antonio Callaway. So that's good astrology there. Same astrology with Devontae Parker, and not quite as good as astrology as Preston Williams has. So just I threw in a lot of names out at you guys. Just kind of how I'm going over my waiver wires this week, and appreciate the comments, appreciate the likes, keep those rolling in. I want to get, somebody asked me about a Discord, and so I'm going to post the Discord that I created. I'm not really sure how it works yet. I hope I did it right. I'll post the link in the description, and so we can all have kind of an ongoing community of people who are talking about trades and trying to help each other out in any way that we can. All right, guys, cheers. Have a great Wednesday.